Alright, so you want something that's quick enough to make your friends jealous, safe enough for your mom not to have a heart attack, and reliable enough to make it to prom without breaking down on the way? I hear this all the time. What's the best first car for under 5K? Well, buckle up because this list has something for everyone. Even if you've been out of school longer than the Fast and Furious franchise has been around. Oh, and the last car, it's always the answer. But stick around because I'm going to show you exactly why. Like, subscribe, and starting with... Alright, kicking off this list is the Nissan 350Z's classier cousin, the Infiniti G35. Now, we all know the 350Z, right? It's the rowdy, tire-smoking party animal of the car world, but here is the deal. It's kind of like handing a stick of dynamite to a first-time driver. The thing loves to go sideways at the worst possible times. It's got the highest mortality rate of any car ever. And good luck getting reasonable insurance when every teenage drifter on the planet wants one. So, the G35 has entered the chat. The cooler, more grown-up sibling that's basically the 350Z in a suit and tie. It's got similar performance, but with way better track record for not wrapping itself around a telephone pole. Plus, let's be real, it's way better looking. You get a rear-wheel drive coupe, nearly 300 horses, and if you go for the 6-speed manual, which duh, you totally should, it is a blast to drive. But wait, there's more. Unlike the Z, the G has back seats. They're small, but your friends can fit. And so yeah, instead of ditching your friends to hit the Friday night lights, you can pile everyone in, roll up like a boss, and still have room for snacks. Oh, and let's talk about that engine, shall we? The VQ35DE 3.5 liter V6. Not only is it a mouthful, but it is dead simple to work on. But if you slap an aftermarket exhaust on that bad boy, it'll sound like an angry choir of angels. One of the best sounding V6s of all time. So yeah, the G35 is everything you love about the 350Z minus the part where your parents are gonna freak out every time you leave the driveway. Classy, fast, and a whole lot safer. What's not to love? If I had $1 for every single time someone asked me, G35 or 350Z is my first car, I wouldn't be here making YouTube videos. Not only can you get it as a sleep coupe, but you can also go full sleeper mode. There's a sedan version too. And if you're stuck in a snowy climate, boom, the G35X with all-wheel drive has your back. It's versatile, it's cheap to own, and it's got a die-hard aftermarket community for when you inevitably catch the modding bug. Honestly, I would love to roll up to high school in this 07 G35X sedan for under 6K. Talk about an ideal deal. But if you're more of a two-door kind of person, which I totally get, you can snag this 06 coupe for just under 7. Oh, and if you're shopping for any car on this list, don't forget, we've linked to all of them via Auto Tempest down below, and use the ideal car strategies to save you some cash and avoid all the headaches. BMW is hands down one of my favorite automakers of all time. I mean, I've owned 7 of them, yeah. And with my last being an E90 M3, there's one thing that I have learned. As incredible as those M cars are, well, they're missing one key ingredient, torque. Specifically low-end torque. And that's exactly what makes the 335i such a gem. It's got all the low-end grunt you could ever want, and then some. So, when it's time for me to buy my next BMW, odds are it's going to be one of these bad boys. Now, a normal person would probably play it safe and snag a 2011 or newer LCI model with the N55 engine. Why? Because they look great and are, generally speaking, pretty reliable. But let's be real, guys. We're not here to play it safe. We're here to have a little bit more fun and live life on the edge. So, the N55 might be a decent, reliable motor, but if you're looking for the ultimate tuner engine, it's the older brother, the N54. That's where the magic happens. People call the N54 the German 2JZ GTE, and if you know anything about the legendary super engine, you know that is no small praise. Out of the box, the turbocharged straight 6 in 335i makes 300 horses, but you slap on a $500 tune and suddenly you're knocking on 400 horsepower's door. Go even further, add some bolt-ons, throw in a twin scroll turbo, and you're looking at a potential 700 horsepower without even touching the internals. That is insane. Of course, you shouldn't do that, right? And on top of that, modding comes with its risks, starting to push the limits, and you're going to find out why the N54 has a bit of a reliability issue. Turbos can decide to retire early, and the fuel pumps, let's just say they're not exactly dependable. Yeah. But here's the deal. If you take care of this car, it's going to take care of you. And the BMW community is one of the best out there. DIY guides, forums, and parts are everywhere. Learn to wrench on your car, and you'll save thousands in the long run. Plus, when something inevitably breaks, you'll know how to fix it yourself. Personally, I love the sleeper look of the sedan, and this one with the premium and sport package for under $7 is ideal. Just make sure that you get a pre-purchase inspection on any of these cars, especially the 335i. Yeah, it's gonna cost you $100. Maybe ask your mom for her credit card, but it could save you thousands in repair bills. Trust me, with this car and every other car on this list, spending a little bit up front will save you a lot of headaches later, if you have a brain. All right, confession time. This one's a bit of a secret crush for me. If you want something with an LSD, 6-speed manual, huge tuner aftermarket following, and is under $5,000, it's really hard for me not to go with the 8th gen Civic Si. I mean, just look at that thing. Reliability? Check. These things are practically bulletproof. And let's not forget the high revving, naturally aspirated motor with VTEC, baby, paired with one of the smoothest shifting 6-speed manuals this side of Mars. Add in a limited slip diff for when you need maximum power to both wheels, and you've got yourself a killer package. C, or SI, stands for Sport Injected. Oh, it does. But honestly, it should just stand for So Incredible. Now, if you're all about chasing raw power, you're probably better off with something turbocharged like the next car on this list. The Civic Si isn't exactly cheap to make fast, but here is the thing. Slap on a drop-in filter and some fresh wheels, and you've got a head turner that won't empty your wallet. Sure, it's not going to be as comfortable as a Volkswagen GTI, thanks to its high-strung 2-liter engine screaming out 197 horses. And yeah, it's not as practical as a hatchback, but what it lacks in cushiness, it makes up for in character. Kind of like yours truly. If you're looking for a fun daily driver and don't plan on turning your next car into a Fast and Furious superstar, Civic Si is the move. It's more reliable than the competitors, cheaper to fix, and honestly, it makes better noises than any other subcompact in this price range. But, and big but here, there's one thing you need to be ready for: the roasting. If you buy a Civic, you're going to be signing up for the Honda stigma. The streets are full of fart can exhausts and racer kids giving Civics a bad name. And even my friends who aren't into cars love to throw shade at Hondas. It's brutal, but don't let that stop you from becoming an 07 Sci coupe owner for under $5K. This is probably the best deal this year, period. So yeah, Civic Si is my top pick, but I have a sneaky feeling you're going to love the next car on this list. It's got just a hint of a Turbski magic. Did my voice just crack? If you're eyeballing the Civic Si, do me one favor. Promise me that you'll at least go test drive a Mazda Speed 3. This hot hatch brings a little more space, a lot more power, and a price tag that's nearly identical. Under the hood, you got a 2.3-liter turbocharged engine cranking out 263 horses. And the best part, it's basically bullet-proof. The turbo, though, not so much. But here is the kicker. With the turbo, you can unlock a world of tunability. Done right, this thing can throw down over 400 horsepower to the front wheels, ready to absolutely shred them. Torque steer? Yeah, you're gonna feel it, but it's kind of fun. And here is your warning. Horsepower is a slippery, expensive slope, and once you get hooked, there is no going back. Sure, the Civic Si might cost you less in the long run, but if you're looking for something that's faster, a bit more practical with its hatchback design, and honestly just more fun to drive, the Mazda Speed 3 is calling your name. And this slick black one with dim gold wheel, it's practically the same price as the Civic Si. So now it's game time, decision time. What's it gonna be? The reliable high-revving Si or the turbocharged tire-shredding MS3? Either way, just remember the golden rule. You can have a car that's good, fast, or cheap, but you can only pick two. But you know we're about to talk about a car that's always the answer. All right, let's get real, ladies and gents. What's fast, reliable, and cheap? You already know the answer. It's always the answer. It's the Miata. These little roadsters are pure joy straight out of the box. They're reliable as hell, rear-wheel drive, dirt cheap, and just begging to have a turbo slapped on them. Seriously, with an engine that was practically born to handle boost, you can snag an NA or NB for under $5, and no matter which one you pick, it's guaranteed to be an absolute blast. A stiff, fun little car that's perfect for carving up back roads or hitting the track. Oh, and Ideal Fam, we just dropped a limited edition Save the Manuals to you, which you can snag up here. So grab one before they're gone. Trust me, you'll love it, and adds like 4 or 5 horses. Now, if you're wondering which generation of Miata you should go with, my pick has to be the NB. It's got a more modern feel, a tighter chassis, a better engine, and improved aero. There's a saying, the NA Miata is a better Miata, but the NB, well, it's a better car. And honestly, it's very true. The NB is easier to live with day to day, it's a bit quicker, and even though the interior is a bit snug, the seats are leagues better. One thing though, promise me you'll throw in a roll bar. You don't want to flip one of these bad boys without some extreme protection. Take this little red hottie for under $5,000 and you got a reliable, do-it-all topless sports car that's hard to beat. So which car on this list are you eyeing? Is it the luxurious G35, the ultra-reliable Honda Civic Si, or maybe that one with the German 2J? Yeah, let us know in the comments below. And no matter which one you pick, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell if you're new, and check out these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal. We'll see you next week, and promise me one thing, keep living the Ideal lifestyle.